this video on arithmetic sequences. By the end of this video, you should be able to, given an arithmetic sequence, write a rule to determine any term. So essentially, we're going to be writing linear equations to determine any term in a sequence that we want to. So a couple of vocabulary words to get us started. What is an arithmetic sequence? An arithmetic sequence is a sequence in which the difference between any two consecutive terms is constant. So what does that mean? Consecutive means one right after the other. That's what consecutive means. So when we count and we say 1, 2, 3, 4, that's consecutive, one right after the other. And constant, we mean does not change. Okay, so the difference between the numbers is the same number every single time. And if we remember back to our linear equations, our slope does not change. It's a constant slope. That's because arithmetic sequences are linear, so their difference between their numbers will always be constant. And that difference is something we call a common difference. And the common difference is that number between the two consecutive terms. We use the letter D to represent it. The numerical difference, the common difference, is the number that's the same between each of the terms. So let's kind of look at this and see if we can identify a common difference. If we have the same number between each of the terms, that number is the common difference, and we can call it a sequence. If we do not have the same number between each of the terms, it is not a sequence. Okay? So we're going to look. So to get from 1 to 5, we can add 4. 5 to 9 is add 4. 9 to 13 is add 4. I added the same number each time. So this is a sequence. And the common difference is a positive 4. Okay? So let's look at number 2. We have 1 to 3 would be plus 2. 3 to 5 is plus 2. 5 to 8 is plus 3. Well, that is not the same number each time, so this is not a sequence, and that's all we need to know about that. Okay, so let's look at number 3. 8 to 6, I had to subtract 2. 6 to 4 is a subtract 2. And 4 to 2 is also a subtract 2. That makes this a sequence. And the common difference is negative 2. Go ahead and try the next 3 on your own. Determine whether or not they're a sequence. If they are, what is the common difference? All right, so number 4 is a sequence. Each time we're adding 3. All right, or sorry, subtracting 3. Every time we're subtracting 3. Number 5 is not a sequence. It is not adding or subtracting the same number. This is plus 5, then plus 10, and then plus 20. This is not an arithmetic sequence because you are not adding or subtracting the same number each time. And then our last one, this is a sequence. Each time we're subtracting 1 between each of our terms. All right, so let's see if we can use this rule and complete and add some more terms to our sequences. So we have 9 to 13 would be plus 4. 13 to 17 would be plus 4. And 17 to 21 is plus 4. So you want to keep using that plus 4 pattern to come up with the next terms. So 21 plus 4 is 25. 25 plus 4 is 29. And 29 plus 4 is 33. Okay, so what I want you to do, pause the video, determine your common difference, find the next 3 terms on these next 2 problems. All right, so in number 8, we were subtracting 3 between each of our terms, so when we keep it up, negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7, negative 7 minus 3 is negative 10, and negative 10 minus 3 is negative 13. And number 9, we are adding 6 each time because we're going less negative, that means you're adding. So 10 plus 6 is 16, 16 plus 6 is 22, and 22 plus 6 is 28. All right, when we want to write a formula, so what if I wanted to know the 100th term out? So this is the first term, the second term, the third term, the fourth term. But if I want to know the 100th term, I don't want to keep doing this same process all the way out to 100 terms out. So what we can do is we can write, there's a formula to help us do this. So this is says a sub n, sub means you go down, an exponent goes up, this is sub, so it goes down, equals d times n minus 1 plus a sub 1. So take a second, write that down. Now let's talk about what these things mean. The d, that's your common difference. So you'll want to know what the common difference is, and you'll plug it in there. And a sub 1, that is your first term. You'll plug it in there. All right, so we're going to plug in a number here, and we're going to plug in a number here, and then we're going to have to distribute combined like terms to come up with a formula. And our formula will be a linear equation. All right, so let's take a look. So this says write the rule. The nth term means any term. I can use it for any number. And then specifically find, this is a sub 19. That means plug in the number 19 and solve. So we're going to look. 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 plus 6 is 19, 19 plus 6 is 25. So my common difference is a positive 6. You need to check all the numbers because you've got to verify that this is a sequence. If they don't have the same number in between, they're not a sequence, then you can't do this. So the a sub n stands for any number. To find any number, I'm going to take my common difference, n minus 1, so I'm just taking from my formula up here, plus the first term, and the first term is 7. Okay? So when we're looking at this, I'm hoping that you can see that we should distribute the 6 through. So I get 6n minus 6, and then I still have plus 7 off the end. And any like terms that we have, we should go ahead and combine. So I'm going to write this in standard form. So I have 6n, and negative 6 plus 7 is plus 1. So this is the rule. I can find whatever term I want. If I want the 100th term, I'll plug in 100 right here. If I want the 5 billionth term, I'll plug in 5 billion right there, and it will tell me what it is. So we specifically asked for the 19th term. So the proper notation for that is, I'm asking specifically for the 19th term. So I say 6 times 19 plus 1. And when you can put that into your calculator, and I got 115. That means if I went out 19 terms, that term number will be 115. All right, so let's try it again. Let's see how we're doing. So we have 30 to 26. We're going smaller, so we have to subtract. That'd be minus 4. 26 minus 4 is 22, so now I'm verifying. 22 minus 4 is 18. So that is my common difference. Okay, so let's look at our formula to find any term. That's what that stands for. You're going to take the common difference, which we just said was negative 4. We have n minus 1 plus the first term. Well, the first term is 30. Okay, now you're going to distribute. So I have negative 4n, and negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4 plus 30. So a sub n equals negative 4n plus 34. Now, once I have this, that's a line. I could go graph it on a coordinate plane, and that's a line. I can tell you any term I want to know. I specifically told you I wanted you to go find the 19th term. So I need to plug in 19 right there. And I got negative 42. So if I kept counting out, this is the first term, the second term, the third term, the fourth term, and I kept going until I got to the 19th term, that 19th term is going to be negative 42. All right, let's look at this application problem on the back of our notes. We'll finish the other problems in class. So you visit the Grand Canyon and drop a penny off the edge of the cliff. The distance the penny will fall is 16 feet for the first second, 48 feet in the next second, 80 feet in the third second, and so on. Okay, write a formula to represent this sequence. Well, I don't have a sequence listed out. Like up here, I've got a list of numbers, but when I read through here, I saw, well, they started with 16 feet, then they had 48 feet, and then they had 80 feet. And then it says, and so on. So these are called an ellipse, meaning it's going to continue. All right, well, let's see what we can determine. So to write the formula, we need to know the common difference, and we need to know the first term. So our first term is easy. That was the 16. It's the first one in line. The common difference, we need to see what's the difference between these two numbers. So I will take the second number minus the first number. So 48 minus 16 is 32. So if I add 32 to 16, I get 48. Does that hold true to the next one? 48 plus 32 is 80. So our common difference is a positive 32. All right, let's write the formula. So the formula works for any term. So this is our any term. You need to take your common difference times the n minus 1 and then plus your first term. All right, now you want to distribute the 32 through just like we were doing before. So I have 32n minus 32 plus 16. So our rule is going to be 32n minus 16. This will help us find any height that we're talking about here. So after any amount of time. So specifically, I'm going to ask for 6 seconds. So 6 is going to get plugged in. So I'm wanting the 6 seconds, the 6th term, because these are all the seconds. Okay? So we're going to take 32 times 6 minus 16, and that's going to give us 176. So after 6 seconds, it will have fallen 176 what? When I look in the problem, I see they used the measurement of feet. So you want to include that when you do this. All right, we will work on the rest of these when you come into class. Let me know if you have any questions. See you there.